That is so
Well,
funny.
oh my God. Jeez.
Go crazy.
Go outside and play. I'm listening to Fully Cinematic.
Ready to get into it?
Absolutely. Welcome everybody to Fully Cinematic with Rand and John. We hope you like, comment, share, subscribe. And we're looking forward to tonight's edition because we have a great guest here. Breea Janay, am I saying that right?
That is correct. Yes. Hey, y'all. It's your favorite film director here telling you to tune and listen. I'm with the best. You feel me? Let's get this going.
Okay. Sounds great. So, Rand, you and Breea have known each other for a little bit apparently, and I am interested in hearing about this guest and what she has to offer to our show.
Well, Breea, this is John.
Hi, Breea.
Nice to meet you, John.
Nice to meet you too. So yes. Golf clap. Thank you for joining us on our show.
Golf clap.
And Breea, you're joining us from Chicago. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Born and raised out west.
Oh, born and raised. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, y'all haven't? Is it actually fall in Chicago? Because it's been 80 degrees around here.
Yeah, it was 70 degrees, and then like the next day it started hailing. Like there's snow and like hail. I'm like, okay, we just have all weather throughout the week. So I don't know. Like my wardrobe is kind of like, okay, I got Timberland boots here, or should I wear some slides? I don't know.
So, Breea, I saw that you said that you're I think you said the phrase was all around creative.
Yeah.
I like that. Now,
Thank you.
So far, I just know that you're a video director, well, a director and a writer. What else does your creativity encapsulate?
Actually, that is funny because I really just use those two, but I go ahead and so I'm a film director, but I also direct music videos too. You know, I'm a writer, but I also can write songs, or like I've written over 400 pieces of poetry. You know, I write short stories. I publish a book before I write books. You know, whatever that is, I can create it. You know, you can take anything that's film, commercial I worked on, you know, TV show, whatever you can do visually is what I can do as well. I can direct it, whatever you want written down on a piece of paper and get going, I can do that too. So just like all around creative. I can draw. I don't really do it because I really don't like it, but yeah, I can draw. I'm also a dancer, just a lot of other stuff, you know, so I could do a lot of things creative. Will I bring it to the light all the time? No, but it's there.
So when you say
you draw, but
you don't like it, does that mean you do the storyboards just out of necessity?
I can, yeah, if I have to, but I just know I can hire somebody.
Got you. What were you saying, John?
I was gonna say she's an artiste. That's exactly what it is. She's an artist.
Yes, that's exactly it.
She's an artiste.
I get my inspiration from Prince.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he's definitely an all-around creative person.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So were you born just immediately from the time you were able to comprehend things? Do you feel like it was just a natural thing for you, this being able to do this, or did some of this stuff you just have to kind of find your way and develop it? What kind of?
I don't know. That's a really good question. This is why I'm gonna say that, because I was introduced to Prince at a very young age, and just kind of seeing who he was. He was not afraid to be different and just do whatever he wanted to do. But also, when I was younger, I always wanted to do a lot of things. Like I wanted to be a scientist, some type of scientist that would build and invent this, or you know. And then I was like, oh, I want to be a veterinarian, but chemistry was like, no. So you have to figure out what can you do. So it's been a long journey of just trying to figure out whatever I want to do. I want to make sure I do what I love. And it turns out to be writing and directing videos is something that I really love to do.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Prince with an inspiration.
Yeah, I know.
That I am so fortunate and so glad that I was able to see him here in Columbia on his last tour before the unfortunate happened. And he is one of those artists that I just still cannot believe is gone.
I know. I know.
Yeah. But I have to tell you a real quick funny story about Prince, and because I grew up in a very conservative family, and my cousin and I decided we were going to buy the Controversy album back when LPs. We took it home and we're playing that album, and my mother just happened to be walking down the hall and heard that whole
Oh
heard
man.
some of the lyrics, and she opened the door and said, "What is that?" We had to take the album off the stereo, put it back in the case or the cover, and we had to take it back to the store and exchange it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's
I will
understandable.
never-
Trust me, I had my headphones sneaking it.
That's one of those things that I'll just never forget. So he is definitely and I like what you said about the fact that he was never afraid to be who he was. You know, he just brought it all out. He didn't care. He loved what he did. He was such a, I mean, just the instruments he played, amazing. So
it's great. Like that's pretty cool. I think he played up to 23.
yeah,
or
it's nuts. It's like what?
Yeah, so you know.
And a lot of those were self-taught, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were, yes. He obviously just had a natural ear. You know, some people I know can play the piano that they can just sit down and just pick it up and play it. And it just makes me mad because I'm trying to play guitar and I've been trying for a year now and it's horrible. So
it's okay. Practice makes perfect.
Oh, it's horrible. So
So as a Prince fan, does that mean that you love Purple Rain, the movie?
Well, yeah, I love all the movies that he did. What's that other one that I didn't have that much access to? It was
the Under the Cherry Moon.
Yeah. I didn't have access to that, and it's hard to find it. But I love everything that he does. I just feel like whatever he do is kind of like he put his own taste into it. You would know that that's a Prince song or album or production based off just his persona, and I kind of want to mirror that too. And although like that's music, I have my own favorite film director, but for those reasons that I choose who I choose is like they have their own style, and I kind of would like to mirror that.
Okay, so who is that film director? Who's your favorite?
I do not want to reveal this.
Well, let's just say, all right. Well, let's just say, are there some things that we know that this film director does? Is this a very popular film director?
Very popular film director. I just feel like not some people would guess it. But you know what? Let's do it. We're on the show. My favorite film director is Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I love his work.
So you like suspense?
It's not the suspense. I think what it is he's able to capture like the whole thing. So you're watching a movie and 10 minutes into it, you just want to be like, what's happening next? You know, there's some film directors that's really good with coloring schemes, and there's other film directors that's really good with their dialogue and the way that they write scripts. I think he just all around captures, it makes you want to sit down and watch the film. You know, there's some films that you'll watch and it's like, you know, after the 20 minutes, then it finally gets interesting, you know, or I'm only watching this because I really love the colors, and like, you know, you didn't have colors to work with a lot of his films, and you kind of just had to build a story.
I would love to have seen him on a film set. I don't think I've ever seen any like outtakes of him directing people, because when you look at his profile and stuff, you just think he's a director. I don't know. It just But I'm gonna tell you, when I was younger, the birds just terrified me. And I look back on it now, I'm like, really? I mean,
I know.
But it's still for that time to think, you know. But I mean, all right, let's look at it this way though. I mean, with COVID going on, who would have thought that, you know, something like that would come about? You know, so who's to say that something weird can happen with, you know, a freak of nature type thing could occur, and the animals could go, you know, wacko or whatever. But the birds, oh yeah, that scared me so bad. I was like, God. So, but I do think that from a directing perspective, I heard the one thing I hear about him is that, of course, Psycho being his most famous, I think, film, is that shower scene alone, they said just he was just meticulous with it and just did it until he knew it was perfect.
I think there was, if I'm not mistaken, there was like 70 pieces of clips.
Can you imagine? Oh, God. Yeah.
Again and again.
That's being dedicated to your work and wanting to make sure it looks right and be realistic to the audience. And of course, that scared me too when I saw it. So I just thought, God. she's just getting there in that shower. And I felt for her, and I felt like, and I was like, who would be doing this? So,
and when you watch the movie from the beginning, you would think that she's going to be around for a while, but
exactly.
She gets taken out pretty quick.
And I think wasn't Janet Leigh pretty known even around that time. I mean, I don't think it was.
I'm sure she was. I think a lot of people that were in film in that time had many roles that they played. Whether that's you're playing on like a Western or Me TV is very popular. You're like, oh, this was So I'm pretty sure she was around a lot of films.
Yeah. Wow.
One of my favorite Hitchcock movies is Notorious, and there's a scene in that movie where they're having a house party in a mansion, and a shot starts from the second floor, and it's a continuous shot that goes all the way down to the ground level to a key. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, you gotta check it out.
No, I've seen it. I know exactly what you're talking about. I think at his time period, pulling off a scene like that and having the editing crew and all that, with technology that we have now, I'm pretty sure it would have been great. But having that all the way back then is like you were kind of thinking way, in advance than what you were able to do. And although his materials were limited, he portrayed it really good.
Right. Have you seen that, John?
I'm going to be embarrassed and say no, I have not.
It's okay.
What's wait a minute, which is the Hitchcock film? And I say it's Hitchcock. Lord, if it's not, I will really be embarrassed being a film buff. The one with the dust cropper, the plane that's chasing down.
The plane. Oh yeah. I don't know the name of that.
North by Northwest. Okay, I've not seen that one either. So that's two. Yeah, that's two. So see, I've stuck with the two. At least with the one. The two, the birds and Cypher, are the ones I've seen.
That's okay. At least you've seen the birds.
That just means I've got to move on. Yeah, but I've got to keep on. I got to move on and watch the others. So, but what film? So, is he the one that's inspired you in some way, or do you have? Or was there like a first-time film that you saw that just like, oh, I've got to do something like this, or was it a music video? Because of course, I know you're way too young to have been back in the MTV days. Music videos. I mean, MTV at first when that thing first came out just was. That's what everybody. That was such because you told stories with those videos, and of course you're still doing the same thing today. But I just miss that whole. I loved it, and just watching the different things, the various videos. Of course, Prince included. He had his videos. I don't know whether a movie or a music video, or what kind of you think maybe led you to want to do that.
Well, actually, nobody really inspired me except for myself. And my story is that one time I was in a meeting in Texas, and it was in a room, because I'm a professional writer, and I was there as a writer. But I had the opportunity to see a bunch of directors and actors and writers just talk and engage with one another. And it kind of just opened up my eyes to just, I don't only want to be the person to write my own material. I kind of want to direct my own material. Because as you know, sometimes you write and you send in all this like 120 pages of greatness, and then the director comes in and is like, I don't like this. And I can never have that.
Yeah.
Right. So I would rather hands-on and all that. And so, the year later I flew to LA, and then I shot the pilot of the TV show that I wrote. And then that was kind of like a hands-on, is this something that you can do? It can do it, and I definitely can do it, and I love it.
That one example I'm going to point out right now, because and probably to me it's the most famous example I can think off the top of my head, is The Shining, Stanley Kubrick, and Stephen King. He totally, here you have this material, and yet that Stephen King wrote, and obviously I'm sure as an artist, everything you do is your baby. And then here comes this Stanley Kubrick, supposedly this, what's the word for it? Artistic genius as well. People revere him as a great film director because of what he's done. And then he takes and I guess does his own interpretation. So, so you're wanting to avoid all that. You don't want to have to do all that because Stephen King is still ranting and raving about the Stanley Kubrick version. And I'm like, okay, I'm tired of hearing about this now. We know you don't like it.
Yeah, no, see, I can't have that. And I don't want, or sometimes I see some films and, you know, obviously it's from a book first and then it's a film.
Mhm.
And then in the character, the book and the character, they might have blonde hair and
Yeah.
blue eyes and tall. And then on TV, they're brown. And I'm like,
It's all
that's
changed
not
up.
how it was.
Yeah.
You know? So I got to be in control of that. Casting, all of that. We can't do this.
Gotcha. So how old were you when you knew you wanted to be a writer?
That's the funny thing, because when I was a senior in high school, growing up, I wanted to be a veterinarian. So I was like, I'm researching about animals and this, and then chemistry just was really hard, and I was like, okay, this is something that they have to do. I can't do that. Yeah, and so in class, I would just sit and kind of just figure out, okay, what are some other options that I could do in the future? Because obviously I do have to take care of myself. What are sources of income? And I just started writing, and I kept writing, and then I was like, I'm actually coming up with something. So I kept writing, and I ended up publishing my first book at 18. And I was like, okay, writing is something I can do. Yeah, so I'm like, let's just keep going.
So what's the name of this book? Where can we find this?
Nope. I stopped selling it. I had to. I cut it. I was like, yo, I can't do this no more. And people ask me that, and reason why is because, I mean, at the time I was 17 and I wrote about an ex, and if we were 21 in Las Vegas, I can tell you at 22 that did not happen. And so, we're done. I don't even know if I wrote the book about him. So let's just.
Gotcha.
We can certainly respect that.
So how many projects would you estimate that you have worked on so far?
I mean, geez, because every time I'm out of town, we do like a 3-project, or at least try to do a 3-project thing where I will try to organize a photo shoot for models. We do like a little short film and then music video. So, and I've been out of town a lot. So, a lot. That's a number. Let me see. Well,
like just maybe like in a given year. I mean, like just.
In this year, I worked on 4 projects. I have a 5th one on the way this week, and then possibly we're doing another music video towards the end of December. But so yeah, it's been like I'm in production right now.
Nice. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you go to the film school?
No.
Wow, that's even more.
It's all self-learned.
Yeah, I figured. Well, the way I looked at it, again, like I at a young age, I just got my head together, reading books like 100 Things Successful People Do and Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm sure you guys know these books.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the better way for me to go about doing this is getting the actual experience rather than spending money in college. Instead of spending the money in college, I invested in myself. I could say at 22 that I have my own production company. I could do my own things.
Good for you.
So experience is the best teacher. I would rather go out and trial and error versus a teacher in front of me selling me the career that I want to live, and you're a teacher.
Right. Okay. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Does Chicago have a tight-knit filmmaking community?
No, you wouldn't believe it. No.
I don't think I've heard Chicago being like a big.
No.
I mean, even like New York, you got Tribeca Film Festival, and does Chicago not have a big festival out there or a group?
There's Midwest Festival that comes here, or I think there's a Chicago one that I hear about, but it's not as big as with anything in LA or anything like that. But no, we don't really have too much for film, and that's one thing that I noticed they mention it in the Midwest Festival, that they're trying to grow a community here. It'd make a big difference, especially because I know right now in Chicago what's big is music. Everybody music, and they forget about the film, and it's kind of sad because it's like, don't die out.
Yeah. Well, so what do you lean more toward? I mean, do you have a favorite? Since you're obviously, like I said, since you're an artist, is there a particular thing that you absolutely are passionate about more so than anything? Is it the music videos? Is it music? can you perform? Did you say you could play any instruments, or do you play any instruments?
Oh.
Or
Can't play no instrument unless the
Anything?
instrument is clapping the hands and
Oh,
whistle.
okay.
Like.
Well, that's in the beating the drum.
Yeah.
You like to sing? I mean, can you sing or?
I can sing. I won't sing though.
Well, that sounds like me.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's the most? I mean, I don't know. With me, I love books. I love
books too.
movies. You know, I don't really like television shows though, because I don't like. I've gotten, since all the COVID mess, I have streamed a lot more than I ever thought I would, because I just don't want to sit. To me, going to the movie is an actual, it's an experience. Rather than sitting just in front of a box. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of great, especially I would think in the last couple of years, TV has really become a place where a lot of celebrities and, actors and actresses or whatever are going, because there is such good scripts written. And there has been some really good stuff in the last year. But do you feel pull more, that you're pulled more to than anything else? Is it film or the videos that you direct or writing or is it just
a lot?
Just something just strike you, and then maybe that's just how you kind of are driven. Some people just at that moment, I'll feel this passion for this, and then at the next moment, I'll feel this passion for that.
No, I think it just roots in like a lot of. It's never like the same answer. I can't, I feel like being and surrounding myself with a lot of like-minded individuals, that's kind of what drives the passion to want to continue doing what I want to do, because it's like, oh, if my friend John here is doing amazing out here, I want to equally match his status so that we can continue to do business and like talk and stuff like that. I can say that my true passion though is film. I just love watching a movie where the scene is right, like it's the proper frames, it's the proper coloring, it's the proper mute, like the audio under it, even if it's like the simple bird, tweeting in the garden, but you're in the house, I just, oh my gosh, that, and I just want to, create it.
I am with you on that. I could not create it. I'm with you on that, because in fact, before we started the session tonight, I was just thinking, okay, what are we going to talk about? What am I going to bring up? And I was just thinking about film, and I mean, I think my favorite thing about film is, well, the movie itself, of course, is just being in that theater and the film. But if you get the right music in play with the film, and I have I don't know why, but especially as I've gotten older in the last, I'll say 5 years or so. Well, no, let me take that back. That's a big lie, because Breakfast Club, I don't know, that's one of my all-time favorite teen
Breakfast Club?
Breakfast Club.
You don't like it?
Oh, are you kidding me? That's one of my favorite. Oh my God. I will never forget going to see that movie, and of course the song playing. So now when I'm watching a film, I purposely have my phone out ready to Shazam, just in case I need to either score music or something, which if anybody even uses that app anymore, I don't know. But whoever did create that was a genius. Because to me, if that moment was between the actors, the scene, and that piece of music can just, I don't know, it just gives me chills, sometimes. And I
agree.
Now, like I said, I can never recreate it. Don't even ask me to. Although my brother and our neighborhood kids did try to recreate Grease when we were in the.
Oh my gosh!
We did. We had everybody dressed up. We all got characters and everything.
Which character were you?
I was John Travolta's character. I was Danny. What you talking about? So,
I'm crazy. We love it. We love it.
And we had to sing the whole parts and everything. It was hysterical. I wish we'd have recorded it. I had recording at that time, but
let us get a little bit of that Grease lightning.
No, no, can't do it.
What do you mean no? No, what do you mean? We don't say no in this show.
Right.
So what's going on from how is social media impacting you, and how is it impacting you in your career? I mean, do you see some aspects of it where it definitely is, moving it out? Do you feel like there's a lot of duplication where some people are, I mean, because if you look, like I was talking to Rand beforehand, there's a group, there's two guys that are doing, I didn't even heard of reaction videos until I just one day was on YouTube kind of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're actually making like a little, thing out of this. And I was watching these two guys that they're just hysterical. They have like what did I say, Rand? 1.29 thousand or million subscribers.
Wow.
So how is it helping? How is it helping or hurting your career? Do you have a thought about that from a social perspective?
Yeah, I think honestly, with everything going on in the social media is definitely the best marketplace, the best free marketplace that you could do. You kind of have to figure out your following and, how to interact with people to get them to engage in your posts. But I think it's definitely been a plus for all artists and creatives out there. You just have to go and get the material, whether you feel safe and comfortable to go out in the world. I don't judge anybody what they do, but it's definitely a great time. Right now, I noticed that Twitter has stories now. So, everybody, the attention is on Twitter. This is a great time to post, get that going. Okay. So I think it's good. Positive outcome.
Rand, what do you think? I mean, I know Rand and I've been talking, we had been talking about doing this for so long because he and I worked together at a company, and he and I just clicked in the gym one day, and we just started off, we would just talking about movies, and I just had no idea that he was as big of a film buff. He's probably a bigger film buff than I am, because he can name stuff off, and I'm like, oh, I never saw that. I thought I was a real true film buff. But I'm, it's cool and it's really nice to be able to have this ability to have these kind of interviews, or just I don't want to necessarily say interview, but just talk, about it.
Yeah.
Because my wife likes movies, but she's not one of those. I mean, she has to watch it between 7 and 9. Otherwise, she'll fall asleep.
Oh my God.
She just. I mean, she will go to films with me, and she knows. She supports me that. But I don't mind going, and in fact, I used to until the COVID hit. I would go maybe sometimes once, twice a week. And I would go by myself, and then sometimes I'd go with a group of guys that are film lovers too. And of course, I miss it terribly.
Same. You're gonna make me cry on here, and now it's gonna be instead of the interview with Breea, it's gonna be crying.
Yeah. Well, AMC Theater has done a remarkable job as far as safety, and I'm hoping that it will. In fact, if I can do it, of course. I've got my family situation going with my mother. She's ill right now. But if things settle down, I want to be able to go back. Because I don't mind going. I went, and I was like 2 or 3 people in the theater. But then I was like, this is so sad because I want to see these seats filled.
Right. Yeah.
So, but hopefully we'll get through all that. So we're not going to talk depressing stuff.
But I will, but John, I did want to let you know that, as you know, around here, the AMC is I think the only chain is still open right now, and they only show movies Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with one screening per movie per day. But next week they are going to be open on Wednesday and Thursday as well. So that's
nice. Okay, love it. All right, that sounds good.
That's good. What was the last movie you saw? I'm very curious before everything closed down.
Oh, I went and saw Infidel actually at AMC. Okay. The actor who played Jesus in Mel Gibson's The Passion, was that The Passion of Jesus Christ? Jim Caviezel. Jim Caviezel, thank you. I can always count on Rand. He's gonna and it was a great. I loved it. I thought it was a good film. It probably, I don't think it would, even if we didn't have COVID, I'm not sure that it would have done as well. And I'm not trying to. And the only reason because it was somewhat controversial with the religious aspect of it. So and everybody has their own either religious belief or maybe not. I don't know, which is fine. But to me, it was a suspense film, and I thought the director did a great job. I mean, he was really very good. That was my last one. So, what about you? What was your last film?
Believe it or not, and I'm so glad I got the experience to see it and just hear the crowd and their reaction. It was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That was the last film, and that was.
I have not seen that yet. Rand's seen it, right, Rand?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Wasn't it good?
Yeah, I thought Brad Pitt stole the show.
I mean, everybody just. Bye. I'm not even gonna, because you haven't seen it. It was just so good.
Oh, Ranton told me about it. You can tell me. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I just love seeing the reaction. That was the first time I could introduce to any friend that's not into film what it's like to be on film. You know, so far as they get to see how many times the actors messed up, or you know, there's wardrobe changes, or go home and then you're all focused on your script, or just in general with the directors. There's what was her name, Rand? The female director, the wife.
Oh, I don't remember her name.
Yeah, but you see how she was frustrated at what somebody did on set, and it's a lot of frustration. If you plan to be a film director, plan to have gray hair. I'm 22. I have one gray hair. I'm not even kidding you. It's dyed out, but I'm sporting my gray hair.
That's funny because I'm so torn about Quentin Tarantino in terms of not as a director.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm torn about his movies.
Okay.
Because they're just, some of them are rough. Oh my gosh. Rand, what's the one we were talking about where Jennifer Jason Leigh is one of my all-time favorite actors.
You're talking about the Hateful Eight.
Yes. That was just so rough to deal with.
To be honest, that might be my favorite Tarantino movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not see the one about, what's the one they did with the Nazis?
Glorious Bastards.
Yes, and my younger brother just, of course, he loved it. He thought it was great. But I do give him credit. I mean, Pulp Fiction, of course, this is probably blasphemy as a film buff person. I thought it was genius in terms of how he was able to bring Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta together from a casting perspective, because who would have thought? Who would have thought that they'd ever work together?
Mm-hmm.
But then his violence sometimes, and I'm just, sometimes violence is just, I don't know. It just gets to me. And, the language sometimes just kills me. It's just, can you not come up with another word besides that? But no, I mean, he's definitely the visionary. I mean, he's what was the other one he did about the vampires? That was that Dawn of the Dead? No.
He was in From Dusk Till Dawn, but actually Robert Rodriguez directed it.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna have to check out. So going back to that one, I'm gonna have to check out that film because I know my film friends that I used to go with sometimes on Thursday nights, they went and saw it, and I missed it. And actually, I've got two sets of film friends, and one group went to AMC and saw it, and they didn't care for it. The other group went to Regal and saw it, loved it. So I'm like, okay, I need to check it out. But Rand, what was the last movie you saw before?
Well, I saw two movies last time I went to the theater. I saw Tenet, which I loved. That was great. I recommend it to both of y'all.
Okay.
And I also saw the New Mutants, which I also like.
Oh, really? Okay, wait. Was that the dark one? The ones that they were dark? Did that come out?
Yeah, it's the X-Men movie with this slanting towards horror.
Oh yeah. I wanted to see that, but I was like, I don't want to see that. At the same time,
it's good. It was way. I thought it was good, and it still exceeded my expectations.
So you know what? I'm sorry. All right, so I'm just got to ask this question too because I'm sitting thinking about it with the kind of with your projects and everything you got going on. What is your outlet? Since you're in the kind of the film and since you're on the film industry and thing, do you still watch? Do you find relaxation doing that? I mean, or that something you could? Because do you find yourself watching stuff, studying to make sure you know what to do the next time you try to do a project, or do you just let all that go out the window and you're watching a film or a video and you're just like, okay, I'm chilling today. I don't care how this is done. I'm just gonna watch it. I mean,
well, I'm a dancer, and believe it or not, hula is it's peace for me. So if I'm ever really stressed out, I don't really turn to film. I don't turn to books because it's like I do this on a regular. Mm-hmm. But you will see me binge watching the same show that I've seen over 100 billion times. It's just how I cope.
And what's that show?
oh my gosh, if I'm not watching all the time Vampire Diaries or the originals or Family Guy, I don't know. There's nothing else on. Like, I don't watch anything else.
Oh,
I got a
that's
question.
interesting.
So I usually avoid behind the scenes specials, and if it's a movie that I like anyway, I avoid behind the scenes specials and making of featurettes because I don't want to spoil the magic. But it seems to me that that doesn't really bother you, and it doesn't interfere.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's also because, again, I don't really have that many friends that are in film.
Right.
The two directors that I know are from New York, and then one's in Atlanta. So, that's kind of pretty new. And I think what I love most about it is showing people that this is a career as well, or this is what happens. Everything, like, in front of the camera, people are always, oh, the actor this or the makeup. Like, there's people behind the camera that have an amazing job too. And I just, having that opportunity to look at it or bring it to light is like, I like it.
Yeah, John, you got to see. Breea had posted a video about the importance of atmospheric color to the emotion and the mood of the scene.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. You got to check that
I'll look it up. Is that posted on Twitter, on your Twitter account?
Yeah, it's not as long as I wanted it to be because you only work with so much time on Twitter. But like, oh my gosh, that's something that not too many people understand as well. It's a big key factor when making film, because you kind of, even if you have the color scheme you got it going, you still have to associate a color with your character, even if that's their vase in their room with the flowers in the background is red because they're angry. You just have to, like, the colors is important, and I think that's another story. That's another way to tell a story outside of just writing the script.
Right.
What about the movie by Steven Spielberg, of course, who is all-time, one of the all-time great, Schindler's List? So,
I've
like,
seen it.
you haven't seen Schindler's List?
No. Is this a bad moment?
My goodness, have mercy. Because you're going to have to watch it with the little girl. Rain, you've seen it, right?
Don't give it away. Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. Just from a color perspective, you got to see it.
Okay.
Wait. Now,
give me the plot. Like, give me this.
Well, it's loosely based on a true story of a German businessman who ended up sneaking a lot of Jews out of the country during World War II.
Yeah, he was able to save them from the camps.
Yeah,
and I kept wondering, I kept seeing this scene because and the film was filmed in black and white, but there's one color aspect that will show up. So.
Hold on. No, I think I have seen that in like when we was in high school. It is black and white, but it's like I'm not sure if there's a little girl or there's definitely a scene with the bars.
It's mostly in black and white, but there's a little girl wearing a red coat.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay. I just think that's just talking about scenes and I it's just interesting that that he would have come up with that focal point. But that's, I guess, from the movie's perspective, was to make a point, and so you would kind of see, what ended up happening. So
yeah,
interesting indeed. Yeah, there's so many things. Rain, unless you got a question, I was going to ask. So, Breea, would you want to make it as big as some of the more famous Hollywood directors and get out there in the LA or Hollywood or whatever and live out there and make your films? Or what's your long-term goals at this point?
I think being a film director is something that I want to do, and I do want to be as big as the next film director that you want to name. I will be living in Chicago for the rest of my life. And a lot of people don't know that I choose that decision. I have it tatted on my leg. I just, I can't. I can't leave here. I just want to have the money that I can go and film, and but this is home. I can't.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's nothing wrong with that. So, but what about?
So you'll be the one to build the Chicago filmmaking community.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right there.
I want to put my studios when, you know, in the far future, whenever I'm able to expand my production company for real, I want it to be in, you know, in Chicago. And then, you know, years down, then maybe we could have a couple other studios in other popular cities like Atlanta and stuff like that. But first it'll be here.
So with you wanting to be or being a film director, what about why is it so hard, you think, still for women to be accepted? And I mean, all right, so let's think. So we got, you know, what is it, Catherine Hurt? Who else was some of the, I mean, you could name like maybe what, 10 that
Ava
really,
DuVernay.
yes, okay, she
But
right.
they're not like as big and popular as, you know,
I mean,
which is the issue.
No, I mean, we named off all these men, but yet think about it. Think about the women. So I wonder, I don't know. I just think I would think of the 20, you know, in the 21st century, that at this point in time we would have women that were making more movies and they were being just as popular, if not, you know, at least equal, you know, comparable to men. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to take to break that ceiling.
When you have that answer, let me know.
Because I mean, it is, you know, because obviously there's, you know, female directors that have talent and ambitions and desires and things, and yeah, they should be able to make it. So I don't understand. I mean, I read the entertainment magazines and read the reviews and I'll always like to see who's directed it and then what. And it's interesting to see because, you know, 9 times out of 10, it's usually a male that's directed it or something. So when you get something that's big by a female director, I'm like, okay, this will be interesting to see. So, but see, that in itself is almost bad to say because they're almost like under that microscope of constantly scrutinized, and it's like they shouldn't have to be that way, you know.
I agree. Let me see. I don't know, I people ask me that question quite often, and first I have 2 answers. One, like going into it, I can tell that my voice holds little weight if I'm in a meeting with, obviously, you know, a male dominated system. Is my voice, whenever I'm speaking during a meeting, isn't held as, you know, with much weight as the next person who just came up with a very like silly idea. Well, I wouldn't say it's silly, but what I can say to any other female out there that's trying to make it, or just in general anybody, you know, allow them to speak. And, you know, I allow them to speak and say their ideas, because you not allowing me to say what I have to say in full, then, you know, I have the opportunity to take whatever you just said and it's like, oh, well, my idea was better anyway. So go ahead and move forward what you're going to do. And then I'm going to do it and it'd be better. And it's like, dang, that's why she was in the meeting. Yeah. You know, so do that. That's the first response. Second response, I think one thing that I would like to move forward and push into this industry is not so much as, you know, oh, I'm one of the very first young Black female directors. I just want to be pushed in this industry as a person. And every time I'm doing casting, I don't pick like, oh, it has to be, you know, colored. Like, it doesn't matter.
Sex
like,
or color should not have to be, you know, sex or color should not have to be that shouldn't even be an issue.
It's not at all.
It should be you as a person and what you're able to bring to the table as far as your skills. I mean,
yeah. I just happen to be a female. I just happen to be Black, but I'm a person, I'm a soul, and this is my work. So I'm hoping to push that.
Well, that's awesome. So I love it. So, yeah, because I was just looking. Oh, I said Catherine Hurt. Catherine Bigelow. What was the movie she made? It was The Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker.
I was putting her title of the movie with her name. Yeah, Ava DuVernay, Sophia Coppola, which now she's, I understand, has done quite a bit. A lot of independent films. But then you have Greta Gerwig, Patty Jenkins, Jane Campion, haven't anything, Dee Rees. There's a lot of females. There are a lot of females here. So far, they're all white except for 2. That's another issue. I'm like, okay, you know, will there be, or is there something that, you know, is keeping African American women from being able to direct their own films? I don't know.
You have the answer. Like I said, please.
Okay, I'm gonna take notes on this too, and I'm gonna come back to you when I have the answer on both of those.
Please, because I would like to know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, that's just insane.
I have a question along those lines. Is diversity behind the camera as much of a problem with non-director roles as well, like like casting directors and
Yeah.
camera people, cinematographers, editors? Is that
Well,
a problem with all of those jobs?
That's a good question.
It's yes and no. I can't say that there's a lot more diversity and different backgrounds that are now entering the career, and it's amazing to see because looking around before, it's just a whole bunch of Caucasian men who are the videographers. They are the casting directors. They write the scripts, but now we have all these different angles and these different voices. Lately a lot of the sets that I've been on, it had a black DP, or some of the models may not have been just one shape or size and different like that. So far as behind the camera and who's doing the makeup, there's a lot of makeup artists that are coming out that are from different backgrounds, different everything. It's starting to become a canvas. Before it was just a picture with just one color, and now we're starting to really paint on all the different colors and all the backgrounds. So it's slowly coming up.
Okay. So we're making a little bit of progress.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
That's good to hear.
Going to LA, I don't know.
More reason to stay in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you, is there any specific genre that you lean to as a creator?
Good question. No. And again, for me, it's kind of, whenever I write anything, I hate to say that I write action. I hate to say I write drama. I hate to say whatever category. I would like to create my own category in genre. And basically what it is like a relatable material. So whenever I'm writing anything, in life there's romance, in life there's drama, in life there's comedy and action. And so I take a story and I go. Day to day, I'm going to experience sad, and on a day to day, I'm going to experience happy. And it's just not all, the character has to steal a flash drive and run and gunshots, or no,
Right.
he goes and, maybe he goes to his apartment with his wife or something, and there's love scenes. And I just want to create everything in one movie.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Well, I have to say, I do tend to lean toward genres.
It's okay.
I'm telling you, I know I shouldn't say this, but I mean, Marvel comics, if I see one more comic film, and of course I know, and I'm messing myself up with Rand, I know it. And he's giving some direction on how to go and what I should watch. But my God,
you're discriminating against a whole genre based on a couple of bad apples.
I mean, what, Marvel? Because I'm not the biggest Marvel fan. I'll be honest.
I mean, it's like, how many more $100 million?
But they're not all the same. It depends on the director, the writer, the tone. There's a lot of ingredients go into that gumbo.
Okay. And he's given me a list of what to watch and what not to watch. So I need to stick with that. But I'll say sci-fi is probably the one thing I do tend to shy away. Well, let me take it back. Comic, film type thing that I think I tend away from more than anything. Not that I dislike all of them. And then sci-fi is probably second. I don't know. I'm more of the drama, suspense, fiction type stuff. So
Offended.
Yeah. Musicals. Rand is not a musical person. You don't like musicals?
I know. I can't do it. What's the one that recently came out and when theaters were with what's his name? Oh, he plays Wolverine. What's his name?
Don't you dare!
He loves that movie.
We're gonna shut this.
Breea, he went to see that movie twice in the theater.
Oh, I have seen that. So, oh my God, I could. Oh.
No,
The Greatest Showman.
I saw it in theaters.
Greatest Showman.
I'm excited. Oh yeah, The Greatest Showman. I'm excited. And then they started singing. I was like, oh no, this is not for me.
Right.
Oh, the songs in that film were amazing. And oh my gosh, this is me when she's like, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm going to have to let them know that, I am who I am. And when they just burst in, the whole cinematography, The choreography and I mean, oh god. So
Different strokes for different folks.
I know, well,
really, really
but
though.
you like Purple Rain? That's a musical.
Okay.
It's
that
more
was
of a
a
concert
genius.
than a musical.
Yeah, he was a genius.
Okay, I get that. Okay, that you're right. You're right. I know what you're saying. Okay, so you didn't like Les Miserables. So
No, I just don't like any musical. Like
oh my
even High School Musical. I think I've maybe watched it because Zac Efron, but I just come on, they just stepping out
Exactly.
singing. Oh my gosh.
I don't think. I think maybe the right musical hasn't hit yet. You know, y'all. It'll happen to y'all one day. So, but you know, like you said, different strokes for different folks. So, God. Whew, man,
Oh, did you see Into the Woods?
I did see that.
I loved it.
I like it. I like that one.
I loved it. My wife wasn't too.
I could not believe that movie was nominated for Oscars.
What? I believe it had reasons.
I mean, y'all didn't like Mamma Mia just as a fun.
No, I did.
I didn't watch it.
No.
Well, I mean, of course, I'm a huge ABBA fan. So from the time I was, my brother-in-law and sister had all their albums, and of course, I grew up at that age, listening to a bunch of it. So I loved it. I thought it was great.
I'd rather listen to an ABBA album than watch Mamma Mia.
I thought it was great. I liked it.
I love how he's so stuck on it.
I love it.
You're outvoted.
Yeah. Very much so. Agree to disagree, John.
Yeah.
All right,
we have voted you off the island.
Well, we were, I don't know if Raina told you about our previous shows, what we talked about, but like we did do segments on our favorite vampire movies. We did a segment on, did we do ghost movies?
Yeah, we did ghost stories.
Ghost stories.
We did zombie movies.
Zombies. We were talking about a film that, I guess, you know, with the last year that Parasite won the best Oscar.
Yeah.
Oh, that, yeah.
Did you see that? Did you like it?
I loved it.
I did too. I thought it was great. At first I was thinking, I'm not going to watch this movie. I'm not going to like it. I'm not but I was just drawn in immediately. I thought he did a brilliant job. But there's a zombie movie, hashtag Alive. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the name of it.
Yeah. It's amazing. You got to watch it. I don't know if you watched any of the Walking Dead or if you're into any of the zombie stuff, but in fact, wait a minute.
It's also a South Korean movie like Parasite.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's amazing. I mean, it is really good. Even aside from the fact that it's, you know, this zombie stuff, the fact that the two people are trying to survive and their relationship with each other and what they go through is just worth watching alone. It's amazing.
Okay, I can get to stories like that. If there's a relatable, like I want to put myself in this position, not really, but you know, to live that out, I would love to watch that. You know, imagine that I have a boyfriend who actually wants to deal with me.
No.
Anything like that. Anything like that.
It's really relatable because there's a lot of it that parallels the coronavirus quarantine that we've all been going through.
Yeah. It's so I was thinking while I was watching, I was like, God, this is kind of scary because here we are all, you know, basically being quarantined and trying to stay inside our houses, our apartments, our homes, or whatever, and they're pretty much having to do the same thing, and yet you still need to have a little bit of human interaction because you saw one of the main characters basically was starting to, in my opinion, was starting to kind of lose his mind a little bit. He was like, oh my God. And then it just so happens that, ironically, somebody across the way just happens to see him and save him from doing something. And so the whole relationship at that point picks up. And the thing is, they got to figure out how are they going to be able to get to each other, being across in a different apartment complex. It was pretty good. It really was very good.
Yeah.
I have a question. Yeah. I know I'm the one being interviewed, but I'm really curious.
Fire away.
Both of you two, what is your favorite movie and why? Like you guys are opinionated.
God, why would you?
John made fun of John. Kind of questioned my choice on the last episode, but my favorite movie, if I had to pick one, it would be The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Okay, and why? What's so? Tell her why.
It's it's got almost everything. It's got drama, it's got action, it's got sci-fi, which you love. It's hands down the best Star Wars movie. It's got a great film score. It's got great visuals. The cinematography is great. It's got the great colors. It's got a great plot twist at the end. It transcends the genre. Put it that way.
Okay.
God, that's such a hard question. Why would you ask that? Oh.
I'm sorry.
No, because I know Randall and I've talked about it. It's so hard for me to pick. You know what? There's a book that I read because I really ever since Kindle came out, and my wife bought me my first Kindle. She's called herself a Kindle widow now because that's all I do. I stick my face in the Kindle.
Did she make up that term?
I don't know if she did or I did, but she just said, well, I think she might have, but she's a Kindle widow because I keep my nose in my Kindle reading. Because I have a group page on Facebook where I post reviews of books I read along with the movie page that we have. And it's rare that you find the book to match, like we talked about a little bit earlier, to match the movie. And there's one by a movie called The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And the book is amazing, and they did an excellent job of keeping the book and the film true to it. And I love that movie. But that's one of my top 5. I just can't. God, if I had to go back to a movie and say Grease is one of my favorites. Breakfast Club is probably one of my favorites. I mean, Grease. I love the soundtrack. I wouldn't say that Purple Rain is like my favorite movie. It's in my top 10.
Okay, wow, go crazy.
Yeah, I love the soundtrack.
Top 10.
Prince anyway. So, God, but yeah, that's a hard one. But then the thing about it is, I don't look back on like some of the older classics, and I mean, so many film directors do. So I probably wouldn't be your stereotypical film director if there is such a thing, because I don't look like the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s films and just like go over I don't know. I'm a 70s kid, late 70s, 80ish is my genre because I was born in 65. I'm a 55-year-old man. So, so I would say around 75. Wait a minute. One of my other favorite, and of course the musical, and y'all are going to rip it to shreds, I know.
Here we go.
I know you're going to rip it to shreds, although it was remade, and I will say they did a good job, but A Star is Born, the original.
Okay, I'll take that.
The original, though, it's got to be the original with Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson.
I'll take it. That's acceptable.
But I will say that Gaga and what's his name?
Bradley Cooper.
Pretty eyes. Yeah.
They did. That was a pretty good version. But see, the people don't realize that was what the 3rd or 4th version of that movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of versions.
But I thought Gaga did pretty good with her role. And who knew that he could sing? You know, he did. He held his own pretty good. So, but yeah. So that's probably it.
Go crazy.
So did we hear what yours was?
No, it's funny. My favorite movie. Well, the thing is, I don't have a favorite movie because I love all the movies. I'm kind of in the same boat with you, but I can't say the one that I've watched over 2 billion times, and probably why it's popular is because I watch it that many times. 50 First Dates. I just love that movie.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, what do you have to say? What do you have to say?
You know what? No, I can't say anything there because the reason why is because I've seen snippets of it. I've never seen the whole thing. So, okay. You know what? I'm gonna have to put that on my list to watch just to see.
Please, I think it's just everything. Just like Rand was saying, that it's everything. Like it has the humor in there, and there's the romance, and I just think everybody did a good job being silly and goofy. And one thing that I love about Adam Sandler is one thing that I will keep with me is that he uses the same people every time, and it's like I want to keep doing that too.
Yeah.
That's love.
Oh, wait a minute. This is, you know what I was? Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I was thinking of another film. This is Adam Sandler, and with Drew Barrymore in this one too.
Yep. She's the
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, she was in this one.
Do you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking, who's the guy that played on the TV show where the two men and the kid,
2.5 Men.
2.5 Men, and who's the guy that came in and replaced Charlie Sheen?
Oh, Ashton Kutcher.
I was thinking it was an Ashton Kutcher film, but it's not.
Oh,
Okay, I'm way off. Ooh, I'm way off.
no, yeah,
that might be an insult. Sorry. So,
it's okay.
I
Yeah,
will say Adam Sandler's pretty good. I'll say he's pretty funny. He has Wedding Singer, I think, is a pretty funny film. So, and it takes a lot for me, especially today, to find a film that I just think is downright hysterical. To laugh out loud, it's just very rare for me to do that with a movie. I don't know. I'm not. Some of the things, more modern stuff, like I didn't think Bridesmaids. Maybe it might have been a step ahead for women, if you will, but at the same time, I'm like, what is so funny about this movie? I just didn't get it. It's just.
I didn't see that. I feel like there's a couple titles named Bridesmaids. Was that one recent?
No, this was a 2011 movie.
Yeah, it goes back. It has
Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, yeah. No.
And the girl and the lady from Saturday Night Live and Kristen
Wiig.
I didn't watch it all for that reason. I mean, I think that it's a good film, overall, but it just wasn't Melissa McCarthy. I love her. I'll watch her I'll watch the movie just because she's in it, but it wasn't, my taste.
I don't see. My thing is, I don't think, and I think it's kind of because you hear references about this a lot with films. Is I don't need body humor as far as that one particular scene.
Body humor.
Is that what they call it? Body. What's the term for it? It's body. I can't think of it. I've heard it used before in different reviews, but it just, to me, that just doesn't make it. It's not funny. So
that's fair.
I miss Chris Farley. I think he was hysterical. I miss him. I miss what was John?
Oh, you mean physical comedy?
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Where when I say physical use of
slapstick.
No, it's where you have to use like the restroom. I'm trying to be political.
Oh, I know. Oh, you mean like body humor?
Yes, I don't need all that kind of
bathroom humor. I'm not a big fan of. Well, I mean, it depends on the bathroom humor.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just.
This was a whole group of friends who had diarrhea at the same time.
Okay, there you go. Okay, thank you.
In a bridal shop, everybody everybody in a bridal shop had diarrhea. That's what he said.
I don't think think about the movie Hangover. I hated The Hangover.
What?
I could not stand The Hangover 1.
Oh,
what?
I'm fat. I wish they'd have never even made those films. That's the way.
Wow. Well, you know what? I do. It would have been great if they had never made the sequels, but the first one was great. The first one was great.
I thought that. See, that's just that humor is just not.
I have different standards when it comes to comedy. With comedy, I don't care about the plot or any of that stuff. Just make me laugh, and I'm happy.
Oh no! Now see, I'm opposite. It's got to be a good storyline. I got
musicals. I don't know if we could take this opinion.
You're right. You got a point. You got a point. And let me give you guys a little bit of my philosophy when it comes to movies. So I used to be so much of a movie lover that I watch anything. I mean, stuff I never heard of, stuff that critics hated. I didn't care. If it was a movie, I would watch it. But now I'm a lot pickier. And nowadays, I would rather watch something that I can't do myself. Like, I don't want to watch something I don't want to watch people sitting around talking, because I can do that myself. And when it comes to actually going to the theater, I prefer spectacle.
Okay.
I don't need spectacle at home, because on a small screen. But if I'm gonna get in the car and drive somewhere and watch something on the big screen, I want to see something spectacular.
You want an event, a big event, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Very true.
That's part of why I like Marvel movies, because I can't be an Avenger, so I got to watch other people do that stuff.
Well, that's a valid point. Okay, I see where you're coming from.
I think honestly, Marvel movies, I like them. I'm not bashing them. My thing is that they punch and then it's like, oh, it's a joke. Like, no, like I don't want to laugh. You just punch me like, you
Right.
know.
Yeah,
It's
you
too
want
light.
you want the consequences.
Who was that just famously snubbed the Marvel films too? Was that Martin Scorsese?
Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, that's right. But you got to think about it. They are totally different spectrums of filmmaking, and I feel like, and I thought some of what they said was valid, and some of it I was like, you guys got to come on. There's different audiences that can be, you can still reach your particular audience, and yet the Marvel films obviously can reach another audience, so they can exist together. So I don't understand what the what the big whole hoopla was, but
well, I think part of the point was that the argument was that they can't stand together, because what some people argue is that the big Marvel movies are making it harder for smaller movies to find space in theaters. They were saying that the big $200 million budget movies were crowding everything else out.
Well, hello. To a degree, to some degree, I think that's true.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if you got a theater that has 10 auditoriums and 6 of them are the Marvel film, that's a way of pushing out, other films. And plus, you got your theaters that they know that's going to be bringing in the bucks. So if you only get, in fact, Columbia, South Carolina is a good point. We do not get a lot of independent films here at all. We have one theater downtown that, which I hope is still open. It may not be, but then we also have one chain theater that will show independent film, and I do love certain independent film. Not all of it. It just depends, because I look at the plot, look at what the storyline is about, and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I mean, to a degree, I have to say so. I think that's why my whole thing about Marvel comics and like I said, immediately it's going to be $100-200 million budget. You're going to expect all these flashing, action things and stuff. And I don't know. You would think that'd be a reason to want to go, like Rand does. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's like Empire, like with the new Star Wars movies. I'm gonna be out there. I mean, because it's an event. What were the ones with the Galaxy Gardens of the Galaxy or something?
Guardians of
Oh,
oh
my.
that laugh is so it's jolly.
And that
look was priceless.
I mean, and the raccoon, whatever his name was, I just
they're talking 3.
The raccoon was the funniest one.
Whatever. I just couldn't deal with it. So
that's fair. I stand with you.
I don't know, but there's some stuff that like Aliens. That to me is a big event.
Well, Black Panther was a comic book movie, and that was pretty.
Now I will say okay, you got me on that. I love Black Panther, because I love, of course, there's so many actors in there, and I just admire so much. And the color, the whole, I don't know, there was just I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, that was just, I thought the acting was great. There were the storylines I could follow. I don't know. So yes, you're right. There are exceptions. I guess there's exceptions to everything you say. So
I have to hear your opinion on this, Breea. I see that look on your face.
There's a look on my face.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, it was a great movie. I saw it. I went to go see it, and I will tell the truth here. I went to go see it 3 times to support, but I'm not a big Marvel fan, and I wouldn't go to the theaters to go and buy a ticket for the reasons that I stated before. I think that the film was good, but it wasn't as high. It was hyped up, in my opinion. I think what happened was there's a Black Panther, and that's the first time that was ever introduced, so that's why it was good. But overall, it was just like, okay, he drinks his medicine or his whatever to become this person. He dies, and then he takes it back at the end. That's very predictable. Like, I knew he was going to be okay at the end. Like, the storyline is really basic. For a lot of the film, I felt like they didn't have somebody to, like, go over the color coordinates. There were some scenes like that casino scene that was put together very well, but you know, it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't super consistent. It was just more colorful and just a scale of colors to make it like, oh, this is Wakanda, you know, is just wasn't, you know, what I've seen some other Marvel movies like, man, what's the last one? The one that Iron Man died. That was more
Endgame.
Yeah. Oh no, I saw what's that one? Ragnarok, but that's because I have the biggest crush on Loki. So, you know, that's why I was like, oh my god, there goes more. But yeah, that I feel like it just, I don't know, it was a 7 out of 10 movie.
So are you gonna watch the Loki television series?
No.
Me either.
Because if it's not vampires, I don't know what I will watch.
Oh, so you're a vampire movie fan?
Not a movie fan, just a vampire person. Like, I just love vampires. Anything vampire.
I saw you had that hashtag, that vampire hashtag, and I was just assuming that just meant that you you stay up and work all night. But
no, I'm writing a book right now. The main character is the main character is not a vampire. She's dating a vampire, but I think it's pretty cool, the whole concept of it all. Like, before I wanted to be a cryptozoologist, I was like 4 years old talking about wanting to be a cryptozoologist and like, what is that? And it's
Rand, I can already tell you, I'm going to have to ask this question, and Lord, I just hope she responds right. Please, whatever you do, tell me you are not a fan of the Twilight movies. Oh my God.
You heard what type of book she's writing.
That was art. It was put together. That's what.
Oh.
The script was genius.
Oh my God.
I see what you mean, though. It's like, what is this? But you know what?
Well, here's my take on it. I think if they had picked 2 different leading characters, because I am sorry, Kristen Stewart is one of the worst actors I have ever seen.
I agree, but that's what makes it art. Like, they had what they had and just did it. When you have limited supplies.
I feel like Robert Pattinson has proven himself as an actor in his independent films, and he's been trying to step outside the box. Oh, poor Kristen, I just tell you. No. But so let me ask you, did you ever watch True Blood on HBO?
No, I wanted to, but from what I was reading about it and some clips that I saw, I was like, I don't think this is something I'm really interested in.
Yeah. I know people that are just huge fans of it and talking about it, and I haven't attempted to watch it yet. I watched because I mean I'm in a, like I said, we did a segment on vampire movies. Did you ever watch The Hunger?
The Hunger? No.
Oh, that is one of the all-time. It's got David Bowie, Catherine Deneuve, and Susan Sarandon, and it is so ahead of its time. It's just creepy. Oh, it's so creepy. But it's definitely a movie that it came out in I think 81.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's just David Bowie in it. It's just, and with Catherine, it's just classic.
You should watch Blade.
Blade.
Yeah.
I'm saying
it's more of a vampire movie than anything else.
That's one of his. And is that not one of your favorites?
1998, the first R-rated movie that was inspired by a comic book.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'd check it out just because I will give you that satisfaction. I hit you up in a week, be like, I saw it, and if just on how I respond, if I just say I saw it with a period, means I didn't. Okay, I just want you to know I saw it. Okay, but I will watch it. Period.
So let me ask y'all this, kind of not really changing the subject, but going back into, but it is film related. But of course, we have all these things online now where people can give their opinions about film and stuff. But do you think we'll ever have anything again like the Siskel and Ebert type? You know, they were the huge, I guess you'd call them the godfathers of movie reviews as far as.
Yeah, we will have that again. This right here, it's fully cinematic.
Oh, he's setting the bar high.
Okay. Hey, look at that. Love it.
I'm with it. Hey, let's do it. So,
the future is now.
Okay.
Literally.
I love it. I'm on with that. But yeah, because there's nothing on TV like that anymore.
At all.
You couldn't wait till like Saturday evening because sometimes they wouldn't come on till like 12 o'clock at night, and I'd sit up strictly to watch it. And I love the fact that they not only reviewed movies, but they also did like previews at the end, kind of like at the theater, you know. Previews at the
Right.
end. They were just, and I love the way they just bounced off each other as far as their opinions and things like that. So, but anyway, so maybe, but yeah, who knows? Maybe we can take this to another level and get famous. You don't ever know. So, of course, it's not.
Hey, do it. I'll help you guys out. As
it's
a
not even
film director, I help.
It's not even fame I care about. I just like being able to talk about it because I can sit around and I can sit for probably 4 hours and talk about movies.
Yeah, we actually had we had one episode that was 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it was edited down to 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I'm a director. That's a little bit long, guys. You got to take it.
Oh my gosh. I had a question recently. That just reminded me. They was like, oh, you know, I know if whoever's watching this, you said I could say this, so it's okay. It's clear to go. They're like, oh, you know, can you help me write a script? Yeah, that's great. And then they're like, I want to film in February. Okay, great. You know, it's whatever we're doing is short because it's December basically already. He's like, oh, the movie has to be 1 hour and 30. I was like, oh, you want me to type you a 90-page script and film it in February?
Wow.
By February.
Yeah, not going to happen. Great conversation. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So,
No problem.
what else is up your sleeve as far as topics? I'm probably going to have to sign off here momentarily.
Okay. Well, I have a question for you, Breea. Have you ever thought about? I did see 2 of your music videos. I saw that you did one with Big Baby.
Oh yeah.
Another one with Scotty the Dripster.
Shout out to him.
You ever think about doing a music video based on a movie?
Yes, I have a book of things. That's what I keep explaining to them. I'm like, to just any artist that tries to book me, and it's like, you know, I'm stepping into this genre as a film director. Like, there are so many films that we could do. Like, I had just wrote down this one idea for like an R&B music video, possibly, or something like that, like a loving song. But I thought it'd just be so cool if the main artist was like in a Wizard of Oz setting. You know, they're Pinocchio and maybe chasing a bird. I don't know, but you know, like that'd be just so raw. The yellow brick road, and we could just have that, and maybe he's like, I don't know. I want to drill in the fairy tales too, or just a whole bunch of movies we could do. There's Psycho we just named, or just The Shining. I would love to have a Shining, you know, music video part 2. He just breaks in and is like, you know, I don't know.
Oh my God.
I know.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that Shining idea sounds interesting.
Yeah, hopefully one day somebody will take me serious with my ideas.
Well, we hope that will be the case. So and I don't want to get into like personal stuff or anything, but so how do you, of course I'm going down the whole path, but so how do you get funded for stuff? I mean, do you just have to find somebody that likes your idea and they're willing to put up the money to help with the project, or are there grants, or are there just other avenues to try to, or do you just save up until you work and save up to do what you want to do? I mean, that's because, like I said,
that's a good question. That's a really good question, especially for people out there who's trying to do the same, like follow the same footsteps. There's lots of ways that you could do it. I save a lot of money from my bookings, and then I do the smaller projects out of town. Or, you can just go and even if that's working at a job for like 3 months and just consecutively saving that, you can go and get the bigger film money. I have money saved up, because this has just always been something that I wanted to do. And from the jump, like I said, in high school, I wasn't the one to go out to parties and, live that life. I was serious about what I wanted to do. And so, as I was a first assistant manager and for some years, and, that was a hefty pay, and I just kept stacking and saving so that I can now be in this position and be like, okay, I want to do this. So for me right now, I have money saved up. And then I just, use it. But in the event that I need to have more money, then, I have bookings. You see, I'm doing this, that, and the third, stuff like that.
I just thought about something too. You know, I live outside of Columbia, which is our capital here. And I don't know if you've been to South Carolina, but not very metropolitan. I mean, I don't know, Columbia can hold its own as far as stuff. But I live in a small community outside of about 20 minutes outside of the city, and it's called Blythewood. But anyway, there is my librarian, Fiona, I just love her to death. But anyway, because she and I, we're so tied to books and everything. But anyway, her husband is a big film buff. Him and his son have a festival actually. And Rand, I don't know if I ever told you this, but this is the second year. They're doing, this will be the third year coming up. They're taking high school students between the ages of, let's say, 14 to 18 that are interested in directing and doing film. And they actually did the film fest last year had and I cannot believe this woman lives in Columbia, and I think she lives in Blythewood or is from Blythewood. She won an Academy Award for special effects, and I'm trying to remember which film, but who'd have thought our little town of Blythewood, which probably has 2,000 to 3,000 people in it, has something like that taking place. So, I'm gonna have to get in touch with you next year and see if Ray wants to fly you down here and let you talk to these students if you would be interested in something like that. That would
I would so be interested in. Please, we can do this next week. What's up? Well, we can't do it next week because Corona.
Well, it's funny. But my book club meeting is Thursday. Fiona will be on the meeting, and I will ask her to talk to Ray about it. So that'd be awesome if we can get you down here and let you talk to the students, and could that way you could get your stuff out there, and you could be an inspiration for others, and maybe they can inspire you. I'm embarrassed to say I've not been yet. But I think what's happened is it's been on 2 weekends. The 2 years that it's happened, there's always been something on every weekend that's occurred. But they do a big opening festival on a Friday night, and then Saturday, which has a band and auctions and stuff, and then on Saturday is when they actually have the viewing of the film, and then they have guest artists that will judge the film and decide. And I mean, that could be a big step for somebody who's 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, that's already fun. Like, I'm a judge. What? I don't even know what I'm talking about, but 7.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put you down, and Ram, we need to go to it next year. I'll get you the info. I'll talk to Fiona Thursday and ask when Ray's planning on doing it for this coming year. Last year it was early, like in the March time frame, so it wasn't terribly cold. It was actually starting to warm up a little bit, nice weather. But I'll get the information for this coming year. And because I think he said last year they had like 90 something submissions.
Wow,
That's insane. I mean, that's I was like, Ray, you got to be kidding me. He said, no. He said, you would not believe the number of submissions. He said some were horrible. I mean, they were just like, you're trying, but but then he said there were some that were just, and they picked out, and of course there's like the grand winner or whatever. So he said some were just brilliant, and he said that they're going to end up going somewhere. But I'm trying to remember what the lady's name was that was at the festival and what her name, but she won the special effects for, and it was like a sci-fi film of some sort. I'm going to look it up right now. But anyway, so if you don't care, I'm going to mention it to Ray and see if we can talk about this coming year. So,
Let's do it. I'll be excited. You know what's one I'm really excited about? If this is like kind of talking about festivals, you guys know about the ATX one, the one in Austin?
I have heard about that. Yes.
Yeah, a little
that
bit.
was fun. That's fun. I've been a couple times, and it's really a community there. Like, you could tell all the staff like each other, or just it's fun.
Okay.
Is the Sundance Festival, did that still go on?
The who?
The Sundance Festival. Robert Redford. That's been around forever. Robert Redford founded that, and which he did a brilliant job directing Ordinary People. Did you ever see that movie?
I saw it. I didn't think it was a big picture worthy movie.
Oh my gosh! Talking about making me
best picture worthy.
I mean, what?
No.
Talking about making you want to slit your wrist. Oh my gosh, that was. But you have to admit,
the whole movie was about a family coping with one of their sons dying.
It was pretty depressing. But you have to admit, Mary Tyler Moore. Was that performance not crazy? I mean,
what year was that? 1980?
1980. Timothy Hutton won. I think he won Best Supporting Actor.
See, The Empire Strikes Back should have won that year.
See, okay, so there you go. You just throwing out this big Academy Award because your preference of a sci-fi film should have won.
Best Picture.
What should have won this past one was what is it? Oh my gosh, I bought it on YouTube because it was just that great. Uncut Gems. I am so upset.
Yeah, that was good.
Now, my different sets of movie friends went and saw it, and they all hated it. They're like, that was horrible. They said that was the worst movie.
Were they looking for a comedy? Is that why
I think they were thinking they were going into an Adam Sandler comedy.
It was not.
It was great. I mean, and it's not the first drama that Adam Sandler's been in either.
But this is the best one.
It sure is. Yeah, that movie's great. Have you seen it yet, John?
I'm
you
gonna
haven't seen it yet?
No.
Yeah, you gotta see it.
I'm gonna have to put that on my list to watch. So
I love it.
Okay, well that's one definitely down. But Lord, I can't find this woman's name. When I find her and who she was, in fact, I think she might have won 2 awards, Oscars. But the other one that I want to go to is I've heard about the Tribeca, and I've heard that there's one in Atlanta. There's one in Beaufort, South Carolina, that's actually, I think, has got some pretty good names because we have some celebrities that live down here. The guy that played in Platoon and Big Chill and
oh wow,
yeah, he lives down in Dabrowski Island, and he's a lot. I think he's a big host. I think he hosts a lot of the films and judges some of the films down there. And then John Mellencamp lives down on the coast of South Carolina, or at least has a place. That's yeah. So, but you know what? All right, that brings up all right. So this leads to another question. So, are you around a good many? I'm gonna say, quote unquote famous people. I mean, a good bit, or.
I can say that I work with a lot of people that work with other people, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like, again, I'm more of a behind the camera kind of person. So I work with people who shot like famous people's, or work with famous people's this, that, and the third. Or like I'm also, my hand is really in music too. So far as like I'm at the studio a lot of the times, writing songs for artists or just, in that atmosphere. So it's more of a, that kind of lifestyle versus being with the like in front of the camera person.
So would you be starstruck? Would you be one of those people who just constantly was just starstruck and everything if you were around a certain particular person, or?
No, not at all. I met a couple of celebrities, and I've met, I had the opportunity to work with those celebrities as well. It's, they're people just like us. So it's kind of like, I think every time I get to have that experience is more like oh, that's so cool. But then.
Well, then I don't know.
She was in a commercial with DJ Khaled.
Okay,
yeah, I was.
Okay, that's true then. Yeah, you've met celebrities, so okay. I probably wouldn't even be able to talk. I mean, I'd be one of those. They'd be like, "Hello, would you like this?" And I'd be just like,
"Yeah, no."
I just, yeah.
Yeah, there's one person, I don't even know who it was anymore because I just forget. But there's one celebrity I'll be like, I don't even know who it would be. Somebody. Is it Brad Pitt? I feel like it might be Brad Pitt.
Brad is pretty good. I like him as an actor. But I'm gonna tell you, I absolutely, when I was 15 years old, my all time, and I even wrote to our state newspaper about this because they used to review movies in the paper, and I used to collect pictures of her. In fact, I still have my photograph albums of all of her when she posed in Vogue, her movies. She was always on the top of magazine covers. But my all-time favorite actress at one time was Brooke Shields. Really,
love that. Double tap.
Well, I love it, but let's just face it, Brooke has come a long way in terms of acting skills because that Blue Lagoon, which I wrote in and offended the Blue Lagoon, which was technically, if you looked at it now, you'd be like, that's one of the worst movies ever made. I mean, but but I loved her. So I've still got all her case. Like, my wife was like, you're not going to go ahead and get rid of this and trash it. I'm like, have you lost your mind? You know how many magazines I had to buy to put all those pictures together and put in that album? No way. So, but she has certainly come. I think she's done a better job. She's gotten where she's
a
She
better
pretty much holds her
job.
own now with an actress. So, but
So,
I mean,
What
that,
about you, man? What's up?
I was just gonna ask, um, what advice would you give to a minority
Mm.
or anyone outside, anyone that's not a white male looking to get into filmmaking? And you already told us about getting finances, but aside from that,
Mhm.
what would you say would be the best way to get into it?
Really just continue to believe in yourself for real, because this is already such a narrow career to like try to fit yourself into, and you just have to realize that you can't fit in, and that's okay, and take that and make it your advantage, and just because again, I can't create what everybody else has been creating, otherwise it won't work. I get rejected. If you take while you're in this field, and say, for me, what drives me is I'm a young Black female director already enough. I'm bringing ideas that y'all don't have because you don't have me,
Right.
more of me there. So take whatever it is that you bring in, have confidence in yourself. You almost have to be cocky, not, just have confidence and just go, like push for it, punch through the wall and be like, yo, I'm going to do this. And once you convince yourself and have your own back, you don't need anybody else to say that you're good, because you know what? Damn it, I'm going to do it.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
y'all, the Oscar winner was, she won for her visual effects work on the movie First Man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember even what that movie's about. I hate to say that, but did anybody?
Oh, you talking about the movie about the first spacewalk on the moon?
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But anyway, so that was last year. And I mean, hey, that was big news for us to get an Oscar winner here. So,
That's
wait a minute. No. And you know what? No, that was 2019. 2018, we had the guest she was an Oscar and BAFTA award winner for Blade Runner 2049.
Go nuts.
I love that movie.
Go
I didn't
nuts.
see it because you know what? That first one was just so freaky weird, and
It's way better than the first one.
oh Lord, that first one was so crazy. And what's the girl's name with the blonde hair?
Oh, you mean
That could kill you by crossing her legs, and she would just choke you and hit your neck.
Daryl Hannah?
Daryl Hannah, that robot thing. Oh God, that was crazy. So,
The second one is way better than the first one.
although I will say that movie was probably pretty much way ahead of its time. And people, I mean, that it gets a lot of raves now. I mean, people love it. So, not me.
Watching that first movie felt like work to me.
Yeah, I just
work. Yeah, any musical is literally work. Like oh my god.
Yes,
I
agree.
Oh me. Well, I had thoroughly enjoyed it. Y'all can continue this conversation. I've got to go, but it's been great meeting you. And I'm gonna check out your stuff on Twitter. So
Please, yeah.
and
Also,
I'll be in touch with you. I'll hook up with you. Yeah, I'll hook up with you or whatever, because I'll talk to Ray and them and see about getting you down here. I'd love to have you as a guest. That'd be awesome.
Awesome.
So.
Thank you. And it was so nice meeting you too. This conversation was very
Absolutely.
genuine. I was scared at first, but let's do it.
No, hey, listen. Anytime, let's do it. I could sit and talk for, like I said, for probably another 2 hours without any problem whatsoever. So, but I do hope that your career will continue to spiral and grow, and you'll get to do everything you want to do and open up those, what do they call it, crash the glass ceilings for women, for Black women, for anybody that wants to do, what they want to do of any genre or whatever. So, although we know you're not going to do a musical, but anyway.
If Peter Pan could be a musical, I got you. But
okay, all right, okay. Well, listen, y'all, I'm gonna sign off. But been great talking to you. Nice meeting you, Breea. So
of course.
Thank you.
Breea, Breea, come back and give us that first interview after you win that first Oscar.
Yes,
of course. No, dude, I'm about to put Fully Cinematic on. I'm gonna speak to everybody about y'all.
There you go.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much. Have a good one. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Peace out.
All right. See ya.
All right.